Please, if you have a seat, please take it. It's an honor to be here to welcome Prime Minister Albanese and Prime Minister Sunak. And it's my honor to welcome you both to the United States as we take the next critical step in advancing the Australia-US-UK partnership, AUKUS. It's an unusual name, AUKUS, but it's a powerful entity. You know, when our countries first announced AUKUS 18 months ago, I'm not at all sure that anyone believed that how much progress we'd be able to make together and how quickly we'd accomplish it. And I want to thank the members of all of our teams who helped bring us to this pivotal moment sitting in front of us. Thank you all very much. Secretary Austin, Secretary of the Navy Del Toro, thanks for letting us come to your house. Chief of Naval Operations, Admiral Gilday, where are you, Admiral? There you are. And thank you for hosting us at the Naval Base of Point Loma. And I also want to thank Representative Joe Courtney, founder of the Bipartisan AUKUS Working Group, and all the members of the Congress who are here today. Thank you for being here. You are a testament to the strong and deep support for this partnership across the United States. Australia and the United Kingdom are two of America's most stalwart and capable allies. Our common values, our shared vision for a more peaceful and prosperous future unite us all across the Atlantic and Pacific. For more than a century, we've stood together to defend freedom and strengthen democracy and to spur greater opportunity in all our countries. I've always said, when asked, the United States is a Pacific power, because we're on the Pacific Ocean. We are a Pacific power. The United States has safeguarded stability in the Indo-Pacific for decades to the enormous benefits of nations throughout the region, from ASEAN to Pacific Islanders to the People's Republic of China. In fact, our leadership in the Pacific has been the benefit to the entire world. We've kept the sea lanes and skies open and navigable for all. We've upheld basic rules of the road that fueled international commerce. And our partnerships have helped underwrite incredible growth and innovation. So today, as we stand at the inflection point in history, where the hard work of enhancing deterrence and promoting stability is going to affect the prospect of peace for decades to come, the United States can ask for no better partners in the Indo-Pacific, where so much of our shared future will be written. Forging this new partnership, we're showing again how democracies can deliver our own security and prosperity, and not just for us, but for the entire world. Today, we're announcing the steps to carry out our first project under AUKUS, developing Australia's conventionally armed nuclear-powered submarine capacity. And I want to be clear to everyone from the outset, right off the bat, so there's no confusion or misunderstanding on this critical point. These subs are powered, not nuclear-armed subs. They're nuclear-powered, not nuclear-armed. Australia is a proud non-nuclear weapon state and is committed to stay that way. These boats will not have any nuclear weapons of any kind on them. Each of us standing here today, representing the United States, Australia, and Great Britain, is deeply committed to strengthening the nuclear non-proliferation regime. We've undertaken this project working hand in glove with the International Atomic Energy Agency and with Director General Grossi. Australia will not produce nuclear fuel needed for these submarines. We have set the highest standards with the IAEA for verification and transparency, and we will honor each of our country's international obligations. Working together these past 18 months, we've developed a phased approach that's going to make sure Australian sailors are fully trained and prepared to safely operate this fleet so they can deliver this critical new capacity on the fastest possible timetable. Each of our nations is making concrete commitments to one another. We're backing it up with significant investments to strengthen the industrial bases in each of our countries in order to build and support these boats. By the way, this partnership is going to mean an awful lot for good-paying jobs for all workers in our countries, including a lot of union jobs. There's a reason why Not everyone has nuclear-powered submarines. Nuclear propulsion is a highly complicated technology that requires years of training to master. So we're starting right away. Beginning this year, Australian personnel will embed with US and UK crews on boats and at bases in our schools and our shipyards. We'll also begin to increase our port visits to Australia. In fact, as we speak, the nuclear-powered sub USS Asheville is making a port call in Perth as we speak. And later this decade, we'll also be establishing a rotational presence of US and UK nuclear-powered subs in Australia to help develop the workforce Australia is going to need to build and maintain its fleet. One of the vessels you see behind me is a Virginia-class nuclear-powered submarine, USS Missouri. Top-of-the-line submarines are the vanguard of U.S. naval power. And excuse me for a point of personal privilege, as they say in the United States Senate, where I spend a lot of time. These submarines hold a special place for the Bidens. My wife, Dr. Jill Biden, is a sponsor of the USS Delaware, a Virginia-class submarine, and she never lets me go.
Bueno, llevamos 20 minutos casi viendo a Joe Biden, un Joe Biden que está explicando ese encuentro trilateral, ese AUKUS entre Estados Unidos, Reino Unido y Australia. Un encuentro en el que el propio Biden está destacando ahora mismo los grandes acuerdos que hay entre los tres países, especialmente desde el punto de vista tecnológico, y ahora está hablando, ojo, de enviar, atentos a esto, submarinos nucleares a Australia para defender esa zona y para, ahí lo tienen, están enviando esos submarinos a Ucrania para estar preparados, protegidos y sobre todo para defender, si fuera necesario, el territorio australiano. Ojo, porque esto claramente, y se quiera entender como se quiera entender, esas entregas y esos movimientos que está haciendo Estados Unidos ahora mismo son un problema o pueden suponer un problema en lo que a China se refiere, que en cuanto a las aguas territoriales ya está teniendo precisamente algún que otro conflicto con Australia. No en vano, la semana pasada leíamos ya varios medios australianos, desde Melbourne, el DH, por ejemplo, una portada entera explicaba que Australia se estaba preparando para un conflicto armado, para una posible amenaza de guerra contra China. Así que en este sentido, claramente sale reforzada con ese apoyo que le está brindando ahora mismo Estados Unidos.
All of our nuclear-powered ships have traveled the entire globe, around the entire globe, more than 150 million miles. That's gone to the moon 300 times. Now, we can't figure out how to get this sub to the moon, but we're working on it. And I've got to admit, our stewardship of naval nuclear propulsion currently helmed by Admiral Frank Caldwell, who is here today. Where are you, Admiral? Thank you. And the years of training we're undertaking starting now will ensure that Australia is fully prepared to carry on this tradition and meet the highest possible standards of safety throughout the life of these boats. Our unprecedented trilateral cooperation, I believe, is testament to the strength of the long-standing ties that unite us, and to our shared commitment of ensuring the Indo-Pacific remains free and open, prosperous and secure, defined by opportunity for all, a shared commitment to create a future rooted in our common values. That's the objective the United States shares not only with the UK and Australia, it's shared by our friends in the region, by our friends in ASEAN, the Pacific Island Forum, and the Quad, and other treaty and close partners in the Indo-Pacific and Europe. AUKUS has one overriding objective: to enhance the stability of the Indo-Pacific amid rapidly shifting global dynamics. In this first project is only beginning. More partnerships, more potential, more peace and security in the region lies ahead. Simply stated, we're putting ourselves in the strongest possible position to navigate the challenges of today and tomorrow, together. So I thank you again, Prime Minister Albanese, Prime Minister Sunak, and the United States could not ask for two better friends or partners to stand with as we work to create a safer, more peaceful future for the people everywhere. I'm proud to be your shipmates. Thank you.
Well, President Biden, Prime Minister Sunak, I am so honoured to stand alongside you both, here overlooking the Pacific Ocean as leaders of true and trusted friends of my country of Australia. Today, a new chapter in the relationship between our nation, the United States, and the United Kingdom begins. A friendship built on our shared values, our commitment to democracy, and our common vision for a peaceful and a prosperous future. The AUKUS agreement we confirm here in San Diego represents the biggest single investment in Australia's defence capability in all of our history, strengthening Australia's national security and stability in our region, building a future made in Australia with record investments in skills, jobs, and infrastructure, and delivering a superior defence capability into the future. My government is determined to invest in our defence capability, but we're also determined to promote security by investing in our relationships across our region. From early in the next decade, Australia will take delivery of 3 US Virginia-class nuclear-powered submarines. This is the first time in 65 years, and only the second time in history, that the United States has shared its nuclear propulsion technology, and we thank you for it. We are also proud to partner with the United Kingdom to construct the next generation submarine to be called SSN AUKUS, a new conventionally armed nuclear-powered submarine based on a British design and incorporating cutting-edge Australian, UK and US technologies. This will be an Australian sovereign capability, built by Australians, commanded by the Royal Australian Navy, and sustained by Australian workers in Australian shipyards, with construction to begin this decade. Australia's proud record of leadership in the international nuclear non-proliferation regime will of course continue. We will continue to adhere to all of our obligations under the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty and the Treaty of Rarotonga. Our agreement unlocks a set of transformative opportunities for jobs and skills and research and innovation in Adelaide and in Barrow-in-Furness, in Western Australia and here in the United States. Opportunities that will shape and strengthen and grow Australia's economy for decades and create around 20,000 direct jobs for Australians from many trades and specialisations. Engineers, scientists, technicians, submariners, administrators and tradespeople. Good jobs with good wages, working to ensure the stability and prosperity of our nations, our region, and indeed our world. Our future security will be built and maintained not just by the courage and professionalism of our defence forces, but by the hard work and know-how of our scientists and engineers, our technicians and programmers, our electricians and welders. For Australia, this whole-of-nation effort also presents a whole-of-nation opportunity. We will work with the state governments of South Australia and Western Australia to develop training programs that equip Australians with the skills they need to fill these jobs. Working together, our universities and research institutes will collaborate to train more Australians in nuclear engineering. We are already sharing skills and knowledge and expertise across our borders, lifting the capability and capacity of all three countries. Already, today, Australians are upskilling on nuclear technology and stewardship alongside their British and American counterparts. Already, today, there are Australian submariners undergoing nuclear power training in the United States, and I'm proud to confirm, Mr. President, that they are all in the top 30% of their class. Built by innovation and extraordinary and emerging technologies, these boats will present a unique opportunity for Australian companies to contribute, not only to the construction and sustainment of Australia's new submarines, but to supply chains in America and in Britain. The scale, complexity, and economic significance of this investment is akin to the creation of the Australian automotive industry in the post-World War II period. And just as the vision of my predecessors, Curtin and Chifley, in creating our automotive industry lifted up our entire manufacturing sector, this investment will be a catalyst for innovation and research breakthroughs that will reverberate right throughout the Australian economy and across every state and territory. Not just in one design element, not just in one field, but right across our advanced manufacturing and technology sectors, creating jobs and growing businesses right around Australia, inspiring and rewarding innovation, and educating young Australians today for the opportunities of tomorrow. Our AUKUS partnership is not just about the US and UK sharing their most advanced submarine capability with Australia, although we do appreciate that. It's also about building on
Bueno, está hablando Anthony Albanese, el primer ministro australiano, a quien le he dado la palabra a Joe Biden. Ya saben que tienen un acuerdo comercial, intercambios que se realizarán entre los tres países, pero que beneficiarán especialmente a Australia en lo que tiene que ver con el punto de vista de la inversión. Y no solo eso, con los submarinos, hasta 3 submarinos nucleares ha anunciado Joe Biden. Ya lo saben, a estas horas el propio Biden ha llegado a un acuerdo nuclear en cuanto al envío de submarinos nucleares, y ojo porque muy relevante, hasta 3 submarinos podrá tener cerca de los mares y de las aguas territoriales chinas, 3 submarinos con potencia nuclear Australia. Muy relevante esto, relevante también la puesta en escena con un Joe Biden que ahí lo tienen, se mantiene, bueno, pues impertérrito, con la mano en el bolsillo, las gafas de sol, una puesta en escena en toda regla, con toda la parte de la armada militar por detrás. Joe Biden lanzando con esto un mensaje al mundo de esa relación anglosajona entre los 3 grandes miembros, entre Reino Unido, Estados Unidos y Australia. Insisto, importantísimo ese acuerdo al nuclear al que acaban de llegar, ese acuerdo en el que 3 submarinos con capacidad nuclear estarán en aguas australianas, que está agradecido de todo esto, dice que va a servir para que se sientan más protegidos, que efectivamente son conscientes de una cierta amenaza de guerra por parte de los distintos bloques que se están formando. Australia defiende de esta manera sobre todo también las inversiones y la soberanía de los países. Dice que los 3 están muy unidos y que estas inversiones que se van a realizar, además récord en los próximos años, pero en particular en este 2023, van a llevar las relaciones entre estos 3 grandes aliados, entre Reino Unido, Estados Unidos y Australia, a otro nivel. En esto está ahora mismo Anthony Albanese, el australiano. Ahí lo tienen, hablando de que son no solo relaciones comerciales entre países, sino también entre amigos, colegas y líderes, que se embarcan con optimismo en esta relación, en este nuevo acuerdo que han alcanzado en el AUKUS, en ese encuentro trilateral, como ven ahí, entre Joe Biden, Anthony Albanese, que ahora se dan la mano, y un Rishi Sunak al fondo, que entendemos tomará ahora la palabra.
50 years ago, here in San Diego, President Kennedy spoke of a higher purpose, the maintenance of freedom, peace, and security. Today, we stand together united by that same purpose, and recognizing that to fulfill it, we must forge new kinds of relationships to meet new kinds of challenge, just as we have always done. In the last 18 months, the challenges we face have only grown. Russia's illegal invasion of Ukraine, China's growing assertiveness, the destabilizing behavior of Iran and North Korea, all threaten to create a world defined by danger, disorder, and division. Faced with this new reality, it is more important than ever that we strengthen the resilience of our own countries. That's why the UK is today announcing a significant uplift in our defence budget. We're providing an extra £5 billion over the next 2 years, immediately increasing our defence budget to around 2.25% of GDP. This will allow us to replenish our war stocks and modernise our nuclear enterprise, delivering AUKUS and strengthening our deterrent. And our highest priority is to continue providing military aid to Ukraine, because their security is our security. And we will go further to strengthen our resilience. For the first time, the United Kingdom will move away from our baseline commitment to spend 2% of GDP on defence to a new ambition of 2.5%, putting beyond doubt that the United Kingdom is
Bueno, ahí tienen una de las grandes declaraciones. 5.000 millones de libras extra pondrá Rishi Sunak, pondrá el Reino Unido para potenciar su presupuesto de defensa del 2 al 2,5%, 5.000 millones extra de libras, insisto, mientras defiende la soberanía de Ucrania. Dice también que van a continuar enviando ayuda y que no puede ser de otra manera, que en este sentido además comprenden perfectamente la necesidad de asegurar la defensa por parte de la AUKUS, de esta reunión trilateral, de esta alianza de los tres países, de Estados Unidos, de Reino Unido y de Australia, de potenciar ese apartado nuclear, sobre todo desde el prisma defensivo. En ese sentido, Rishi Sunak dice, continuaremos ayudando a Ucrania, pero también hay que tener en cuenta que hay que potenciar, fundamentalmente ha dicho ahora mismo, la energía y la tecnología que Estados Unidos les provee y lograr que esta alianza entre los tres sirva precisamente para formar una suerte de eje, no lo ha dicho así, pero evidentemente dice que quieren seguir teniendo esa defensa, que tienen que, soliviantar a Rusia y dejar claro que la posición de Ucrania es la correcta, que van a seguir ayudándolo y que harán todos los esfuerzos necesarios desde este prisma, desde este bloque, desde esta alianza del AUKUS entre Reino Unido, Australia y Estados Unidos.
Same submarines as the Australian Navy, and we will both share components and parts with the US Navy. Our submarine crews will train together, patrol together, and maintain their boats together. They will communicate using the same terminology and the same equipment. And through AUKUS, we will raise our standards of nuclear non-proliferation. This is a powerful partnership. For the first time ever, it will mean 3 fleets of submarines working together across both the Atlantic and Pacific, keeping our oceans free, open, and prosperous for decades to come. Joe, Anthony, we represent 3 allies who have stood shoulder to shoulder together for more than a century. 3 peoples who have shed blood together in defense of our shared values. And 3 democracies that are coming together again to fulfill that higher purpose of maintaining freedom, peace, and security now and for generations to come. Thank you.
With the permission of my colleagues, I know that our friends can hear, but the USS Missouri, can you hear us? I see them all over there. They're standing at attention. Can I tell them at ease? I'm their commander-in-chief, right? Anyway, thank you.
Bueno, ahí está Joe Biden ahora diciéndole al comandante en jefe, hablando con el comandante en jefe y agradeciendo a todos los militares allí presentes de una y otra nación. Ojo a lo que ha dicho Rishi Sunak, que no puede pasar tampoco desapercibido, que esta cooperación es necesaria, que siguen dispuestos a cumplir con el Tratado de No Proliferación de Armas Nucleares, pero a la vez están enviando 3 submarinos con esta capacidad para precisamente patrullar la zona, dicen, porque hay que vigilar y hacer un esfuerzo por la salud de la democracia y la paz mundial. Ha dicho Rishi Sunak que comparten Estados Unidos, Australia y Reino Unido la sangre vertida durante siglos y que es una sangre compartida y que seguirán luchando codo con codo para precisamente mantener esa paz y también luchar, dice, en favor de la democracia. Rishi Sunak termina de esta forma, ya lo están viendo, les agradecemos también que hayan estado ahí con esas conclusiones de los socios del AUKUS, de Reino Unido, de Estados Unidos y de Australia, de donde se sacan claro, primero, que se van a realizar numerosas inversiones en Australia en el apartado tecnológico, que allí va a sacar mucho rédito Australia gracias a esa importación de tecnología desde el país norteamericano, desde Estados Unidos, y que también Reino Unido va a realizar distintas inversiones, entre otras cosas, sumar otros 5.000 millones de libras a su inversión habitual en defensa, lo que lo lleva hasta el 2,5 del PIB, ese aumento del 2 al 2,5, el aumento en defensa por parte de Reino Unido. Rishi Sunak hablando de sangre vertida, compartida a lo largo de los siglos y que eso les va a llevar, insisto, a seguir manteniendo el orden y la democracia. Van a instalar 3 submarinos, flotas con distintas patrullas también cerca de Australia. Ojo, porque esos son aguas que son colindantes con China. Se viene hablando desde hace más de una semana de la amenaza china en Australia. Se han titulado distintos medios, insisto, el DH en Melbourne titulaba directamente por se siente la amenaza china en la semana pasada, y en esa línea va esta respuesta. Protegen a uno de sus aliados de algo que en teoría no estaba ocurriendo, porque China en ningún momento ha mostrado que fuera a ser una amenaza, sino que está trabajando por la paz. Hasta aquí, de todas formas, esas conclusiones de lo que está ocurriendo, ese AUKUS entre los 3 grandes socios, Reino Unido, Australia y Estados Unidos. Mañana les contaremos qué dice de esto China, que ya saben que la semana que viene tiene a su presidente reelegido ya, Xi Jinping, en Moscú, hablando con Vladimir Putin, y después la idea de Xi Jinping era tener una teleconferencia con Volodymyr Zelensky para tratar de encauzar la paz. Pero esta es la situación actual y veremos exactamente qué termina ocurriendo en las próximas fechas. Les agradecemos a todos su presencia aquí y, bueno, ya lo saben, es otro capítulo más en todo esto. Vamos a ver en qué termina lo que parece claramente una declaración de guerra, si me lo permiten. Enviar 3 submarinos nucleares a patrullar las aguas de China, desde luego no va a tener contento precisamente al presidente chino. Les daremos más detalles de todas formas en los próximos días y, como siempre, les iremos contando todo lo que suceda en directo aquí, en Negocios Televisión.